Public relations, also known as PR, is the strategy used by businesses to get known. Things like awards, press, and media. I'm a bit of a skeptic, so I brought in Sophie and Zoe from Moja, a PR agency, to ask how people can use it in their own marketing and boost business.
I think the suspicion sometimes with awards is that people are chosen not because of their work, but because of their connections.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any truth in that?
Probably.
100%.
Yeah, probably.
I can think of some people on LinkedIn that would definitely win awards because of the audience that they've got and the followers that they've got over the actual quality of their work experience, the results they get. Because it's a popularity contest for the most part, isn't it, right? And they want their awards to be seen by more people. Why would you pick the guy that nobody knows but has done sterling work in this particular field when you could pick someone that, you know...
It's funny you say that, actually. We had an incident last year where I was like a finalist in some awards and we weren't familiar with those awards. And then I think they got in touch with the office and said, oh, Sophie's up for this overall award. What she now needs to do is canvass for votes for this award. And we were just straight away, no way are we doing that, because it'll cheapen us and we don't want to do that. We don't want to be that person, hey, vote for me. Like it wasn't us.
It's not accurate, is it?
No, so we went back and we just said, well, thanks that, you know, I'm in this final for this, but we're not going to do that. I won it, which was the mad thing. Like I did win it. We can say.
Yeah,
maybe.
so it's called Women's Business Club, but they sort of branded it as Women's Business Awards.
Yeah.
And I think all we had to do in the end was like literally submit a tiny little bit of text, but that was the main thing, that they wanted you to canvass for votes. But I think it was very much based on that you had a really big online profile and they knew that was going to get that exposure as well, which is a shame, because I think a really good thing about awards is that they do raise your profile, they do give you an opportunity to, you know, reach a new audience, but it should be sort of that two-way relationship in terms of if you're nominated for an award or shortlisted or winning an award, it's really great for you to get out there and say, I've done this, and, you know, you build your connections that way. But if it's just the award sort of latching on to people that already have that profile, it's a bit of a shame really, because it doesn't do the job in the same way, I don't think.
I think that's where the cynicism comes in, and I think I'm still in that camp and I need to be. But I think if I saw it as just a marketing activity, like would we sell more animations if we had award-winning animation studio? Probably.
Yeah.
So we should probably put some focus and spend into winning one.
I can sell you a package that will help with that.
I'll go back to the e-learning awards when I won the 51st most influential person in e-learning. They only put me in that list because I took the piss out of that list the year before. Yeah. So I wasn't in there on merit. I wasn't in there because I'd achieved anything.
You don't know that, though, do you?
It literally was. I said, these awards are bullshit. I work in e-learning and I've never heard of the top 10
But was that not just
people
you like bringing yourself to their attention and influencing them?
It was just a genuine thing that I actually work in that industry and I've never heard of this person that you're talking about.
Yeah.
So then I think they did it to disarm me the year after.
Maybe.
And I didn't know anything about it. And then I got someone, you've been named as one of the most influential people in e-learning. I was like, what?
And how long was the list? 100?
The list was 100. I didn't even know 100 people. I was 51. So about parring it halfway. But yeah, also 51st as well. So I was like, we're not going to give him like the coverage that he deserves, maybe, needs, wants. It was like they all had pictures and I was the first one without a picture. Do you know what I mean? So that's what they did.
Know your place.
They did me dirty.
So that award, Mike, and the other ones that you mentioned earlier.
What did I do with it afterwards?
Yeah. Did you sort of get anything off them?
I took the piss out of it, saying they've only put me in this list so I don't take the piss out of the awards this year. But then I changed my bio to the 51st most influential person in e-learning.
I was trying to think of analogies, and I was thinking our PR agents is a bit like a personal trainer, where if the goal is to win an award, a PR agency is going to know how to get you there quicker. And you're more likely to win an award if you use an agency rather than just waiting for someone to magically give you that badge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We wouldn't know where to start. We don't even know what award we could enter, to be honest.
What, for VAMO?
No, for I Am.
For any year.
Marketing Podcast of the Year award.
Why not?
Is there such a thing? There probably will be.
Yeah, there will be. There's podcast awards.
Podcast awards, yeah.
Podcast awards. But as well, it's, you know, if you were to then go to that, you'd probably have really interesting conversations with people at those kind of awards.
But that's the bit I also don't like. I don't like
maybe
awards,
it's not for you.
nominating yourself or having to talk to other people. But because I feel like we're all pretending. Yeah. We're all pretending that this is dead exciting and we're really happy to be here. When the reality is, it's just a business to me. They've got a business to run where they need you people to nominate yourselves and take money from you. and they need to hand out awards, and you get the gravitas that comes with it. But you've got to pay 1,200 quid for your table. They've got sponsors sponsoring them for £6,000, who's probably going to win an award as well. To me, it's just business. And I think, like anything, it's been wrecked and gamified. Like anything now. I reckon awards maybe 10, 15 years ago, if you won Online Business of the Year in the UK, that would have been a big thing, especially with the FSB, because there's quite a lot of members, right? But I think now, if I see the Forbes 30 under 30, there's that many subcategories.
Yeah.
It can be like 30 under 30, guy with a bum chin based in the Northwest. It's like
got to win that one.
But that's what I mean. It's literally, it's like any business can win an award now. And I think it's kind of been tainted because of that. Just like any person can pay to be put in magazines or put in Forbes or whatever it might be. I think it's all been wrecked by people and entrepreneurs and people like that.
I was doing some research based on this topic, and it just got me thinking, who are the worst people to ever win awards?
Hitler. He won Time Man of the Year?
1936 Times Man of the Year was Adolf Hitler, yeah.
You know why? Because he slashed unemployment and made a few motorways. I mean, if they just waited a couple of years to see where that led, he might not have won that award, right? But he was actually Man of the Year. Did you know this?
That's insane.
You know what? Someone did his application for him and met all the criteria. That's right.
The 1997 and 1998 Excellence in Asthma Award was won by Harold Shipman.
Oh, nice.
Oh, my God.
So nice.
And R. Kelly won a Grammy, didn't he? How can you get press coverage for your small business?
So I think, first of all, you need to think about where you want to be seen and also what the story is. So a lot of people, obviously, they just want to sell stuff, right? Like that's their aim. But actually, if you're going to get proper press coverage, they don't want to publish a story about what you want to sell because it's not really that interesting, or it's just too salesy. So I think it's clearly working out, clearly articulating what your goals are, what's the purpose of getting that coverage, and then thinking about what your hook might be to then go and sell it in. I think you can just be quite bold with approaching people and just thinking about, is it that you want to be on TV or the radio, or is there a special industry magazine or local press that you want to get in with, and you just get in touch with them. Should ignore them.
When you're saying this, who are you getting in touch with? Like, who would I actually be? You'd be
finding who the journalist is that it has responsibility for the kind of story that you're putting forward. So it might be a features editor of a magazine or a newspaper or whatever. And it's really easy to find their email addresses. Twitter is really, really good.
So I always see hashtag journal request on Twitter is quite a common one.
That is a good one. You've got to be really quick with that. And I guess the thing with that is you can see quickly how many people have replied, but also you can see how ineffective people's approaches are on that, because what you'll see in that is a thread of people going, yeah, I've got a client, or yeah, I'm interested, DM me. That journalist is not going to go and you haven't given them a reason to DM you, right? So I saw one the other week where that had happened, and I just emailed directly the journalist that was asking for something, and I just put a couple of bullet points as to why I could be in that, and they replied straight away and they were like, this is perfect, can I just copy and paste this? Yes, you can.
Yeah, I've heard someone say that if you do a lot of the journalists' work for them,
absolutely,
they actually like that, right?
They love it. They absolutely love it because they're always busy, they're always on deadlines. You've got to make it really easy for them, and that is an effective approach for sure. They like it, in the body of an email so that they can just copy and paste. They don't want to open attachments. They don't want to have to download massive, big photos or whatever that's going to clog up their inbox. Yeah, make it easy for them.
When we were selling Learning Heroes, we actually did a bit of PR, didn't we? And it was always PR around growth, how many new staff we'd taken on, numbers and stuff like that.
It's a bit boring, isn't it?
No, but it was specifically for because we were trying to sell the business, so we wanted to be on the radar.
Right. So that's the aim, right? So your aim is, hey, who's going to buy the business? What kind of stories do they want to read about us?
So it was a deliberate strategy to let's do PR specifically about growth,
good news stories,
we're doing, turnover, new offices, 3 times as many staff in 12 months. That type of shit that is quite boring.
Yep.
But solely because that would catch the eye of people that might be investors, potentially want to buy the business. So it was a very, very specific strategy and a reason for doing that. But I wouldn't want to do that kind of PR now.
I don't think it fits your brand.
No, there's stuff with like Forbes talking about, not even Forbes, but if it's talking about entrepreneurs, scams, marketing, sales, I would rather do stuff like that and get into magazines for those reasons.
You did Times Magazine as well, didn't you?
Yeah, we've done Times. Yeah, we've done a few. We've done Times, Telegraph have done some stuff. I was even in a property magazine, but that was because of the Entrepreneur Formula video. They'd seen it and gone, this is rife. We want an interview with this person. So I feel like all PR that we've had, we've never paid for PR ever. All the PR we have actually got is because they've actually seen our content when they've been researching. That's why I think video is so important.
Yeah.
SEO, putting your content out there.
But so you're right, Sophie. I think because we can be controversial and we're talking about things that are entertainment based, it's easy to get picked up. How does an average small business get their story? You know, say I am, one of the VAMO members, Lisa Slater's got a new book out. She's a copywriter. Is there any chance of ever getting any PR or press around that stuff? How do you go about it?
It goes back to that whole hook thing, what is interesting about her. Like sometimes when we go to meet a client for the first time, I'm kind of thinking what I've seen and what I know about them. I'm kind of already thinking ahead, thinking how would we put them forward for something? And then you start asking them questions and they tell you the most like unique stories and you're like, bloody hell, like I've known of you for 5 years or whatever and I didn't know you did that. And it'll be really interesting, and then it's making sure that fits in with their aims and that they're comfortable talking about it, and then that's the hook. And we would do a lot of forward planning around looking across the year as to what's coming out, what themes might be happening during the year and trying to sort of match things up in that sense.
Do you think that's better because they're telling you stories and you're identifying which are interesting stories? Because sometimes it feels, as business owners, they've not got interesting stories. They're trying to make quite boring and mundane things interesting.
That's the problem. That's the problem. And that's why, more traditional PR agencies just whack out like press releases that are quite boring and they'll just send it out to their list and it might not get picked up anywhere, or it might get picked up with someone that they know at the local paper or whatever. And it's boring. It's really boring. And I think that's why you need to do something that is a bit more interesting. And I think, it tends to be that founders' stories are the bit that makes them different, and it's their own personal experiences, and they are more interesting than their company because they've got stuff to talk about. And that's the hook, rather than, hey, we did this with X amount of staff or whatever. And you might need a bit of that for the reasons that you said around an exit strategy, but if it's just a general PR strategy, it's just a bit boring. It's not going to get them a return on anything.
Yeah. But we have recently paid for some PR, haven't we?
Yes.
Have you? What
we found one where you could pay $97 for 5 articles. What was the ones they were going to publish you in?
It was guaranteed.
$97.
Yeah, $97, and it said within 24 hours.
Times 4.
And his pitch was, we'll help you establish credibility and authority. Right. Within 24 hours, we would be published on 5 different publications or websites. But you had to write your own story that you wanted them to publish. So I think my title was, have you got the title there that I wrote?
No, I haven't got it.
I think my title was, so he gave me a couple of suggestions.
Yeah.
Mike Winnett thinks paying for PR is bullshit, essentially was the title. And then my actual article was breaking down exactly what I was doing and why it was nonsense.
Right.
And I submitted it. He took my money off me, and it's not been published anywhere. So
have you been back in touch with him?
Yeah, so it said if you've not
Where's
been published
based?
within 24 hours, he's American.
Right.
If you've not been published within 24 hours, drop me an email. I've dropped in 3 emails and he's not responding.
The website did look pretty sketchy though.
It did, yeah. I've also sent him a message on
$97.
I found him on Twitter, to which it said, I've now been blocked on Twitter. Please find me on Instagram.
God.
And I clicked on his
Tracking him
Insta and
down.
I've sent him a message saying, come on, it's been a week now. You've had my $97. I don't see my articles anywhere. But I thought I was being quite funny by actually breaking down
That is
why
funny.
paying for this publicity was absolute bullshit. So I've been had off by another entrepreneur. That's it for this episode. We're continuing the chat over in our private Slack group where we'll be answering your specific questions about business, sales, marketing, and anything in between. If you want to join, you can sign up for free by clicking the link in the description. Special thanks to Sophie and Zoe for joining us today, and we'll include links to their socials in the description below so you can connect with them. And finally, if you enjoyed the chat, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and leave a like on this video.